All right, hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to Jamf's Solution Partner Program webinar. Today, we're going to talk about our new partner program, multiple ways that your organization can engage with Jamf, and then we'll wrap up with an overview of 3 critical developer tools that we offer to both tiers of our program, as well as provide some general ideas of how an organization might use these tools. My name is Sam, and I'm a Solution Partner Manager on the Partner Marketing team at Jamf, and I'm joined by my colleague, Adam. In the broadest sense, partner marketing at Jamf serves to help other organizations tell our shared story of Apple device management together. And we have a team dedicated for our reseller partners and teams dedicated to our largest and most important partner, Apple. And Adam and I are on another team that serves that same function to tell our story of better together, but for organizations in our solution partner program. I'm also joined today by Brad Becker and Sam Fortuna, 2 longtime Jamfs with a ton of knowledge and experience working with product and technical resources, both within Jamf as well as at other organizations looking to create and enhance their Jamf product integrations. So with that, Adam, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Sam. For any of you that aren't familiar with Jamf, we wanted to make sure you know who we are. And what you see on the screen has been our sole focus for over 17 years. We've been laser focused on helping organizations succeed with Apple for a number of reasons. But most important to that is our belief that Apple devices are best in class for users. And it's that desire to ensure that end user experience is preserved on the device, but also translates over to the IT experience that's so central to Jamf. And it's with that focus that we've built an entire catalog of MDM functionality to cover the Apple ecosystem. Whether you're deploying Mac or iPad or iPhone or even Apple TV, Jamf has a way to help you. But there's an important thing to note, and it's not lost on us, that Jamf and even those Apple devices are really only part of the puzzle. And candidly, the amazing number of customers that are leveraging Jamf didn't buy our product because we're an awesome MDM. They're buying our product to enable amazing experiences that developers like you create. And it's really Jamf's purpose to serve as a conduit to ensure that those applications, those resources and deeper integrations that drive more value for the end institution are simply unlocked and exposed to devices via Jamf. So with the legacy and our focus on Apple and it preserving that user experience, we wanted to take that one step further. And we wanted to ensure that customers had a phenomenal experience with not only their Apple products, but the third-party components of that overall solution. And it's not just that. We want to collaboratively with you take this awesome message to the market and show what's possible when you stack together Apple, Jamf, and amazing solutions like you. And it's with that we've formulated the program that we're going to cover with you today. I'll turn it back over to Sam to go through the specifics.
Great, thanks, Adam. So to speak specifically about the Solution Partner Program, we wanted to solve a few things. We want to build relationships across multiple departments within both of our organizations. And typically, in a developer program, it would only be product teams talking together. But what we'd like to do is bring product teams and developer relations together. We want to bridge the gap between our marketing and our sales organizations. Not only do we want to help you build and strengthen your Jamf product integrations, we want to help design co-marketing materials and opportunities that amplify our shared message together. And for those that opt for the solution partner tier of our program, we want to work even closer on things like webinars and trade shows, along with Jamf's business development team to make sure that we can all execute our go-to-market strategy together. The Solution Partner Program comes in 2 tiers, but both tiers have some commonalities and some requirements. First of all, we're looking to work with third parties that make really interesting or really useful tools that run on Apple. And we're also looking for companies that want to make or build a Jamf integration of some type, which we'll dive into in just a minute. And thirdly, Jamf's focus on that end user experience is what really drives us. So we're looking to work with developers and organizations that want to make that experience even better. And that is a critical piece to a great relationship with Jamf Solution Partner Program. Now, as I mentioned, the Solution Partner Program's 2 tiers are called the Developer Partner Tier and the Solution Partner Tier. The Solution Partner Tier really builds off of the Developer Partner Tier, so let's start with an overview of that. And for any of you that were previously in Jamf's developer program, some of this may sound familiar with a few new notable items. So to start, the Developer Partner Tier comes with developer support. This means our developer relations team can spend time with you, figuring out how to architect your integration. They're really fantastic with advice on API endpoints and suggesting the right way to build something. And outside of developer support, you also get access to Jamf product support via ticket, chat, or email. So if you have questions about enrollment or configuration or other questions that a Jamf administrator might typically have, you can get quick access to our award-winning support team. Access to all of our developer tools and documentation, as well as our new online training components, are available as well. And when appropriate, developer partners get 1 NFR instance of Jamf Pro. And lastly, developer partners are able to post their app or service to the JAF Marketplace, which we'll take a look at later. All of this is included in the fantastic cost of free, with the only caveat being members of either tier of the Solution Partner Program must be actively building or maintaining some type of integration with Jamf. And on the other side, our Solution Partner tier of the program is designed for organizations that want to actively go to market alongside Jamf. And we've designed the resources available to help you do so successfully. For product support, in addition to what's available for developer partners, we're including phone and remote screen sharing support because we want you to quickly and efficiently resolve integration issues or go deeper into support to help a common customer. And in addition to the development NFR, organizations in the Solution Partner tier get an additional demo NFR to show off the integrations to your sales prospects. And additionally, the Solution Partner tier members get access to betas and on-premise installers to make sure that your integration works on the bleeding edge or with edge cases. And in addition to a marketplace listing, Solution Partner tier members get co-marketing support from all of our teams to make sure that these awesome integrations get heard about, adopted, and ultimately drive business for both of our organizations. Solution Partner members get a 10% discount on JNUC tickets, as well as special consideration for sponsorship. This program costs $5,000 annually, and membership is contingent on a strict vetting process by Jamf. Solutions that are tightly integrated and aligned to Jamf's core buyer persona are most likely to be awarded this tier. And before diving into the tech that makes any of this possible, we wanted to show some examples of these co-marketing assets that we've done with other organizations in the past. As mentioned, the JAF Marketplace listing is available to organizations in either tier of the program. And this is a repository of all the free and paid tools that integrate tightly with Jamf. It's important to note that this is not an e-commerce platform, and there's no finder's fee or listing fee. Again, the only cost of entry is a great integration. And our teams vet these listings for quality, and they serve as quick links for both our sales and our technical teams internally at Jamf. Also, the solution brief. The solution brief is a simple but really important piece of collateral that both of our teams use. We're able to distill down the ultimate value proposition of what we do together down to a front and a back sheet in an exciting way that's co-branded with your messaging. And this concise sell sheet helps inform our sellers and our prospects. And where we have channel overlap, it can be channel branded. It's very adaptable and it's meant to be used as an everlasting sales resource. Webinars are also a huge opportunity for us to partner on. The Jamf Solution Partner Spotlight webinars have a really great balance of thought leadership and product discussion to keep attendees engaged and interested. And some of your product integrations really lend themselves to be seen. And again, this is meant as an evergreen resource for both of our organizations. And to tie all of this into a sales motion, we create landing pages for all of our solution tier partners with purposeful follow-up. So when a prospect fills out this form, it goes directly to our business development team that can help bring you in and execute our sales plays to make the introductions required to land the deal. And being on a Jamf.com property is perfect because many of our current customers continue to look for new and interesting ways to use our product, and that ultimately means potentially your products. And we have many repeat visitors to our website. Excellent. Now that we've talked about all the ways we can tell our shared story together, we wanted to take a quick look at the tools we can use to build interesting and valuable integrations. And today we're going to look at 3 core tools that developers can use to provide a better end user experience or a more tightly integrated experience for administrators. And the first one that we're going to talk about is app config. So the problem statement, by default, when an administrator goes to deploy your app actually has no way of knowing that it's running in an enterprise environment versus someone's personal iPhone. And beyond that, some of your apps might require user input before the app is actually functioning. And one that we see often in the enterprise is enter your server address. And that's a required field before the app even becomes useful. Additionally, our admins have told us that they want to go beyond simply managing and deploying your apps. They actually want to have some control over the settings of your app as well. And for organizations, developer organizations that don't want to have dozens of App Store entries for each personalized entry for every organization using your app, app config can also customize the user experience. So what is app config? An app config is a small configuration file that gets distributed alongside the app by your MDM. And this file can contain static values such as activation codes. It could contain device and user variables. It could contain extension attributes as well. So ultimately, this means we can make your app self-aware of the environment that it's being deployed in. And this could allow an administrator to customize the look, the feel, and the behavior of your app within their deployment without you having to create a custom build for each organization using your software. A great example of this is self-service. If you've used Jamf before or worked at a company that uses Jamf, you might be familiar with self-service, the app store that your IT organization can customize. But if you were to download self-service from the app store on your personal device, you might be surprised to see that it functions differently. And in fact, it doesn't really function at all. Without being deployed via MDM, it's simply unaware of the Jamf server it should be looking at. So for our app, self-service, this functionality is critical. For your app, it could be simple as pre-populating that server address, or you could go extremely advanced down to customizing the banner, the text, and the font for any organization that truly wants to modify the look and feel of your app. So moving on to the Jamf API. The Jamf API is a programmatic way to interface with Jamf Pro. And it's possible that you have a system of record that needs to either query or write information to a Jamf Pro user or device record. Or maybe you develop a security product that needs to remotely lock or wipe machines as part of a data loss prevention policy. Or maybe you have a student information system that provides or removes system features such as games and App Store access based on behavior violations. And if any of that is interesting to you, the Jamf Pro API might be your friend. Jamf Pro has a RESTful API that allows your service to query or write device information, create or configure computer and iOS configurations, as well as issue MDM commands. So let's take a look at a few examples of what you might build with the Jamf API. To use the Jamf Pro API as a solution, one thing that Jamf Pro can do is send mobile device commands. And it's possible that your app or service could benefit from this as well. So let's just imagine for a second that you have an asset management platform. What if you could programmatically trigger loss mode on an iOS device whenever a device is tagged as missing and potentially send an email next time it checks in? Or let's consider that you are a help desk system provider. What if your help desk tool could instantly clear forgotten passcodes with the click of a button, or without a technical support rep having to tap the Apple device management team for a one-off request? that level of access could be built into frontline support tools. Or let's say that you're a security vendor, and it might be useful to programmatically lock or wipe a device if improper behavior is detected. There are all sorts of things that you could accomplish by offloading MDM commands to Jamf. And another way to use that Jamf Pro API as a solution is the ability to create configurations. So let's say that you're a security vendor and you'd like to enforce disk security. Instead of making your own agent and all the infrastructure that comes along to support it, what if you simply use Jamf to programmatically create a disk encryption policy that follows your best practices and then made sure that it was actually scoped to every single computer? Or let's say that you're a VPN vendor and you need to ensure that your app and the accompanying configuration profiles are properly set up and distributed to all applicable devices. Or again, back to security. Let's say you're a security vendor that wants to programmatically build out Jamf's restricted software list for yet another layer of protection on top of what you already offer. All these examples lend themselves easily to the Jamf API as a solution. And one of the most popular uses of the Jamf Pro API for integrations is the Git functionality, specifically as it pertains to inventory data. So let's imagine for a second that you made an asset management tool and you wanted to import the device model and serial number along with the currently associated user. Well, you could use the Jamf API to get that done. Or let's say that you create a business intelligence tool that analyzes the values of devices in an organization's inventory. The Jamf API would again be a great way to interface with our platform. And again, let's say from a security perspective, let's say you develop a network security tool that relies on MAC address whitelisting. You could leverage the Jamf Pro API to pre-populate known good MAC addresses for your managed Apple fleet. And moving on past app config and API, our last core developer tool is called webhooks. And these differ from APIs in one giant way. An API requires a call to get a response. A properly set up webhook will fire a post request whenever any particular event happens. And this gives your service a live event feed of any particular action, at which point you could simply record the information, or more interesting, you can take some type of action on that device with that previously discussed API. And there are several types of webhooks available today. Some of the most popular ones are computer added or mobile device enrolled. And if you were, again, an asset management company that was looking to build an integration that tracked when a computer is enrolled or assigned to a user, a webhook could be a really great way to do that. Where again, if you make that firewall or other perimeter security product, it might be really helpful to be pinged in real time as new devices authenticate and check into device management, even before policies that enable your software are deployed. Or in the case of the extremely cool device added to DEP, you could be notified before these devices even come out of the box. One of the more interesting webhooks, in my opinion, is the Smart Group membership change. And if you understand Jamf, this is probably self-explanatory. But for those of you that are new to Jamf, we collect a ton of inventory about devices when they check in. And this inventory feeds dynamic lists called smart groups. So as an example, you could have a live list of devices with a particular encryption status, or devices that are detected as jailbroken, or devices where the warranty is about to expire. Instead of having this information just sit inside Jamf, we can make it actionable in your system with webhooks. So if you make a network security tool, you could be alerted to a managed iOS device on your network that has all of a sudden become jailbroken. You could then decide, do you want to quarantine the device on the network with your tools? Or would you like to send a custom lock message advising the user to return the device to IT from our tool? So hopefully, as you saw, app config, the Jamf API, and webhooks are really the foundation upon which all great Jamf integrations are built. And while they're useful on their own, their power is best seen when used together. So just imagine if you had an app that knew it was in a managed environment, that could write an extension attribute to Jamf Pro, And then there was a webhook looking for the presence of this extension attribute that then fires another API command. Once you get a really good understanding of Jamf terminology and tech, you can really start to get creative with what you might build with our tools. And as a reminder, both tiers of the Solution Partner Program provide access to these developer tools, support, and the ability to use a Jamf NFR instance for development. We're happy to report that the Developer Partner tier, again, remains free for any organization building or maintaining a Jamf integration. And the Solution Partner tier is available for selected companies that Jamf wants to formalize a go-to-market strategy with. Now, if you'd like to get started with any of this, if you were previously in a developer program with Jamf, please just email us, solutionpartners@jamf.com. If you are new to Solution Partners, we'd encourage you to go to jamf.com/community/partners/solution-partner to learn more about our program, to download the PDF that you were previously emailed, and to get started with our program. With that, we'd like to thank you sincerely for attending. Please reach out to us at solutionpartners@jamf.com or the URL listed above, and we look forward to working with you and your teams. Have a great afternoon.